to TC911 Beyond the Call, Episode 10. I am your host, Abbey Dudek, the Communications Coordinator here at Tarrant County 911 District. And today I am talking with Thomas Coomer, our Technology and Network Support Manager. Hi, Thomas. How are you doing today?
Woohoo! How are y'all? We're doing pretty good.
Well, good. Thank you for meeting me for a podcast. Nice little chat here. And so your role, well, how long have you been at the district? Let's start there.
So I've been at the district since 2018, so about 4 years now.
Okay. Yeah, time does fly when you're having fun, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We've done a lot in these 4 years.
Yeah, and you just had a recent promotion. This is a new title for you.
Absolutely, yes it is.
When did you get that? That was the first of the year?
Yes, I was at the first of the year in January.
Okay, and what was your role prior to that?
I was a network support analyst.
And what does that entail, Thomas? Because that sounds pretty analytical.
We like to analyze things around here, make sure it's all good and analyzed. Now, so what we would do is we would analyze basically our monitoring system and make sure that things are as they should be across our 911 network. And so if there were any alarms that came off on any PSAP equipment or something like that, we would be instantly making phone calls and make sure that everything was as it should be, and just make sure that we were there to support if something happened, and that we could go ahead and put in a ticket if we needed to with whatever vendor, and just make sure that we were on it trying to get the circuit back up and running.
Okay, awesome. Now, what do you do? What does this title bring to you now? Complete power.
Yeah. So this title, this is. I've been a manager before, probably 6-something years ago at a previous employer. And so this position, I am basically looking out for all the things that would affect our internal admin network and supporting all of the people that support the PSAP. And then also like what kinds of things to look out for that might affect the public safety answering points. Mm-hmm. And so along with monitoring, also helping kind of liaison between all the different parties that we have, and then just making sure that we are doing our due diligence, we are revisiting certain projects and things, and just making sure that we're having test plans. And so it's almost like a working management position. I got both roles.
You're like, well, my title's bigger now.
That's true. I'm going to see if I can't get a couple more words in there.
Yes.
For next year.
Technology and Network Support Manager. That's funny that you bring that up. When what was my title? One time my title was Public Education and something. It was very, very long. It was like something and this, like yours is. And when I have to go to certain stores and do the tax exempt thing, they give me a tiny line to write my title in. I'm like, I can't do this. This isn't going to work for me.
Do you don't know how the world works. We have long titles.
Like, do you have another piece of paper or something I could staple it on the back? But yeah, so that was... Yeah, so communications coordinator. I'm like, oh, that's good. A lot of C's there. So that's great. Yeah, no, so congratulations on that. And so what did you do? You had mentioned a previous employer. Mm-hmm. So what did you do prior to coming to the district?
So prior to coming to the district, I worked at Tri-County Electric Cooperative, and I kind of worked my way up there. I had worked there since 2013. I left once for not even a year and then came back. And so I kind of worked my way up through IT and got into networking, and it ended up that I had all of the right skill sets to be able to kind of fit where I'm at now. So mm-hmm. We had a GIS department. I worked in GIS. I worked with all other software, working with databases, working with servers, and, internet and networking devices. And, it got to a point where I was just, you really needed a change. I was previously in the military, and I never really got that real sense of what am I doing for my environment, what am I doing for my people at home, because they did a lot for me whenever I was in the military and I went overseas. And so whenever I saw the job description here, I had to take a second look, and I was like, okay, I really wonder what this really entails. So I was like, all right, I'm going to give it a shot. And then at that time, I was really just working for the administrative side of 911, and so I was like, okay. And then I would hear all this ruckus about what would happen on the other end of the hallway, all these important meetings and things, and like, I really want in on that. Mm-hmm. And so it kind of progressed me to apply for the network support analyst position that opened up, and then one thing leads to another, and we're just we're knocking out projects left and right. We're changing networks out, we're trying to make things better, and it's been a really fun road, and yeah, I love it.
Well, that's good. Well, we love having you here, and you add a lot to the environment, especially you and your buddy Tio. Just a lot of
good old Tio.
Good old Tio. He's got to be coming up next. I got to go find him and get him a chat. So, but no, you guys are always funny, and everybody confuses you guys, right? Like,
oh my gosh, yes, absolutely. Yeah, we're always considered the twins.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like we both have the same body style, so we're short and wide, and both of us have beards. I don't have any hair, but he has hair, but
Yeah, but I guess if you're wearing hats.
That's true.
But actually,
yeah.
do you guys ever wear hats? No,
not really.
Wear a hat?
Maybe on Fridays.
A ball cap? I thought, no, not much of a hat people. More, maybe it's always I see you in hoods when you're going outside and stuff.
Probably, yeah.
That's it. Yeah, you're like, sure, Abby, that's what it is. No, you guys are hilarious. Yeah, it is. It's almost like brothers. Those are the two, comical brothers of The Office and everything. So that's always a good laugh when you can catch these two guys in the office. So you did mention that you were in the military. What branch did you serve?
I served in the Army for about 6 years.
Oh, well, thank you for your service. And what was that like? And you went overseas, you said.
Yes. So I did one deployment over in Iraq. I joined the military. I wanted to get out of Texas. They sent me to Kentucky to do my basic training, and then I came right back to Texas.
So plan failed.
Plan failed. But they did send me somewhere that has hotter weather than Texas. And I went to Iraq from 2007 to 2009, and so my job was a 19 Delta Cavalry Scout, and we're supposed to be the eyes and the ears of the battlefield, but really, over in Iraq, everybody did the same thing. Like, if you were combat arms, you inventoried houses, you try to figure out like where people were, and try to figure out these cities, and where do they get their water, where do they get their food, who are the religious leaders here, and try to work with the neighboring towns and try to figure out kind of what really to do. And then, we had our patrols, we had our areas of operation that we would, do missions in. And overall, I got to experience so many different things that it was, I will never regret it, never take it back. And it was an experience, and I'm glad that I had it.
Yeah, well, thank you again for doing that. I'm always in complete awe of those men and women that serve our country and everything. It's such a, selfless thing to do. You're just putting others first. You want to help your country. You want to, do what you can. And I can't even imagine what it was like. And obviously, it was hot there, right?
It was really cold too.
Oh, it was really at night.
It was cool at night, but the winters were really cold.
Really? Mm-hmm. So what would be how
it was
cold?
Just a dry cold. Like your skin would crack. You try to put enough lotion on your hands, and you have all this gear on that it's just like you're either sweating and dying or you're cold and dying.
So either way, it's kind of a lose-lose situation.
Pretty much, yeah. There was really no in between. I got to experience some really crazy sandstorms, and it was like it's almost like the movies. Yeah, you just see it coming, and you're like, oh my gosh.
What do you do?
Yeah, get in the vehicles, hide.
Oh my God! But it gets into your vehicle, though, doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
Like, it just comes through the vents and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, granted, probably not as hard if you were standing out in the center of it, but still.
It would be, you would be sitting in a Humvee and looking over next to the person next to you, and there'd be some haze in between you from all the dust flying in.
Oh, gosh.
Crazy.
Well, again, thank you so much for your service. That's amazing. So moving on, so how have you seen technology change since you've been at the district? What are some things that, I guess, like technology changes? What kind of changes have you seen since you started? 4 years, right? 4 years, yeah. 4 years, okay.
Mm-hmm. So, I can say that in the 4 years that I've been here, I've seen... So, it's kind of been the story everywhere that I've kind of, I was able to be a part of a team. I found myself in these situations where over and over again where I would get somewhere and the top concerns are security and when technology really started becoming like an important thing to like businesses and different cultures, that you pretty much did what needed to be done, and that was kind of it, and everywhere that I've been, it started at that point and drastically moved forward because of all of the ransomware, all of the, just all the different scares and risks that are out there. And so it was really neat. I've been able to help different companies, different entities pretty much completely redo their entire networks. You would have people that wouldn't standardize on their computers, and so that creates a lot more work for the techs that are actually working on them because everything's different from one person to the next. So standardizing helped a lot. Network security, big thing. If everything's wide open, then one infected machine can get to another one. And so putting all these kind of, I would say, best practices to like a modern network where everything's segmented, segregated. Everyone tries to get to a approach where it's like zero trust, and that is such a hard roadmap to get to, and it's constantly evolving, it's constantly dynamic, and so technology is really security driven, but at the same time, like, we still have to do our job and we still have to provide the service for everyone else. So it's like we've got to envision like a security-based platform and kind of drive the solutions that we need and still be able to function, because everybody knows the more security you add, the more restricted it is, and it's harder to do your job. So so we've got to find this happy medium, and so that's been a lot of the challenges that it seems like a lot of entities are facing, really.
Yeah, I know you always hear something in the news, of this got just hacked or whatever and everything like that, and I do a lot of outsourced stuff, or how do I say this, like things from I did a lot of stuff in the community and whatnot. So a lot of times I'll get spam or I'll get sales. I think probably Danny's probably showed, like I get a lot now recently, even starting this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, of people like, oh, hey, we want to sell you this product. We want to do this. We want to do that. And I just hit that button and send it on its way.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not in the market. Sorry, I'm not in the market to purchase anything. Disclaimer.
Right. Absolutely, yeah.
So it's not going. But you're right. There's so many things, and it's got to be such a fine line to make sure that we can all do our job, that all the PSAPs can do what they need to do, without putting a complete Fort Knox system in.
Right.
Because it gets tough.
And if you think about it, so anytime that you want something new, that's a new hole. New service, that's a new opening into your network that, and so it's just, it's hard to put a line of what kind of risk you accept and, what you're willing to deal with. So it's like, it's always the risk factor. So what are you okay with being accountable for to be able to provide a certain service and to say that you're okay with it? Because, there's lots of services that you can outsource, and we can just pass the buck on to them. But, at the same time, it's like, what kind of, what benefit are you getting with, with these different things. So,
Right.
but yeah, I would say technology over the past 4 years has seemed to we really got into a modern approach on things, and it's been a challenging road.
But educational.
Absolutely. Yes. Learning new things every day, all the time. Didn't know you could do that. Okay, cool.
All right. So now you pretty much have earned you feel like you should get like a PhD at Tarrant County 911 for all the education that you've gotten.
Oh, yeah. No.
Let's go knock on Sherry's door and
I feel like I still have a long road before that. But
Oh, okay. So maybe a master's.
Master's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Sherry, we can start implementing a master or like a degree program and be like, oh, yeah, you've got a master's from Tarrant County 911 district. And everybody's going to be like, what? Where?
I'll take Tarrant County bucks. Is that a thing?
It was. I disbanded that program. But it was. But yeah, I can make some for you if you'd like. So that's great. How have you seen, what are some of your best accomplishments actually so far in your 4 years? What were some of the goals that you set? And have you reached them? Do you have more set? What is your outlook for things? Your track record, Levi, share with everyone.
Right. Yeah. No, so I would say, whenever I first got hired on, and, a lot of people have this stigma where you don't really know anything whenever you start a place. For technology, it seems to be really easy because there's lots of tools out there that can help you do your job. Because, if you're in IT or anything like that, okay, what different networks do I have? What different devices do I have? So those are all things that, there's common tools that you can scan a network and figure out, what kind of devices are where, and you can kind of point out, it's really just discovery. So discovering and identifying the things that that was a really big accomplishment because I was like, okay, cool. I knew nothing. Now I know. Now I know some things. And then just asking questions, getting to know everybody, and just trying to figure out what their need base is. So I don't like some of the stigma that comes with IT. I like to try to think of it as it's really, a lot of people have changed the name from information technology to information services because you provide a service.
That sounds
so it's an interesting
good.
way to look at it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it should be because you do provide a service in technology. That is, you're there for a reason, you're providing a service, or else there wouldn't be a technology department.
Exactly.
But I would say just the amount of progress that we've made kind of redesigning networks, redesigning how things work, and trying to build a path that we can kind of grow on. And now I'm looking forward to the challenge of being a manager and, trying to work with the technicians that are doing the hard work every day and trying to support them and making sure they have the tools that they need to be successful. So that way at 3:00 in the morning, they're going to answer that phone call to an alarm and checking it out and calling the PSAP and making sure that everybody's okay. So
yeah, and that's one thing too that it's good to mention that the public knows. This team that Thomas is on, I think everyone is on that. Pretty much everyone on the South End is on the alarm system, right? On the alert system?
Yes, everybody gets notifications.
Yeah. I don't, but I am grateful for that.
Sometimes you might not want them.
I don't think I would know what to do. I'm like, wait a minute. At first, I'd feel like there was a glitch in the system. I'd be like, why do I have this? Do they want me to draw them a graphic for it?
So, okay. I don't know if I can play this or not, but so if you want to hear one of my alarms that goes off in the middle of the night.
Yeah. So this is the alarms that the tech team get. For those who are listening, like, what are you talking about? Alarms. So if something goes astray or needs some attention, it's always monitored. Always 911 in Tarrant County always is, and they will get a notification and then they act on it. Whether it's 3:00 in the morning, 9 a.m., Christmas Day, whatever. But he's gonna play the alarm for us that he is this your personal alarm that you set for it?
Well, so we have a service that will call your phone, text your phone, sends you notifications and things like that. And this particular service has really funny ones. And so this one is, it's all PC, it's all good.
Okay, good. Okay, I'll do some editing later.
The network's down.
That's awesome. So network's down, net really, really down, so wake up.
Yep.
That's good. Why am I not surprised that is your...
Oh, yeah. I mean, when you hear that go off in the middle of the night, I mean...
You feel like someone's like serenading you?
Oh, yeah. Like, you're being called, and then you get a punch
time.
to the throat because your wife is like, what are you doing? Answer that.
Yeah, you're just listening to it and enjoying it. Like, I want to hear the whole thing. And she's getting all upset. Yeah, that's... But, well, thanks for that. I mean, it's good. I mean, I know that the public likes to know that, this is always monitored. It's not just... we're 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, and we just shut everything off, on the weekends or whatever. Everyone leaves their phones on, and you got to take it.
And we have like a variety of ranging alerts. So like there's some things that we there's different categories. So like you have your low, your medium, your high, and then your urgent alerts. And so like we take a lot of time and kind of try to prioritize, who gets what notification based on their job, and what things that we need to be aware of at all times, and what things can be that are non-critical that we can be like, okay, we do need to check on these. They're non-service affecting, but we need to go through and get those fixed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What would you like to see in the future? Like if you were to give, if you have a 5-year goal or a 3-year goal or something, what would you like to see in the future, and how can you implement that in your position?
That's a really good question.
And it sounded really smart, didn't it?
Absolutely.
I've been practicing.
I would like to see next generation 911 services.
Yes, that's being tossed around. I know that.
Oh yeah.
Big old project.
Big project, and I like the. I like that I've been able to be a part of like all these network changeovers, and then this is a really big one because the change happens from our where the originating call comes from, and then goes through whatever CO, and it's just the technology that's there. There's a lot of redundancy. You have multiple different data centers that you can go off of for calls, and being able to receive, like, if Dallas went down or something like that, we could, potentially take some of their calls, or if we went down, they could potentially take our calls. And so just the ability that, no call gets left behind. That's like, that's the goal. Like,
it is,
as a network guy, I'm just like, it went from point A through point B, and it arrived at C over there. So, just make sure the communication flow happens so that way there's somebody there, somebody there in the need.
I like that. I like it how you took that whole, what is it, no child left behind, but the no call. So everyone, Thomas's goal is no call left behind. We want to make sure that someone's always answering that. So, and we have a pretty good structure for that right now.
Oh yeah.
But that doesn't happen where calls are dropped or not answered or anything like that on on technology side,
right,
and everything
absolutely.
like that. So
yeah, we have kind of built-in redundancy. We utilize FirstNet. We utilize different call-taking paths to public safety answering points or the PSAPs, and we just, a lot of heavy thoughts on how we get from point A to point B, what is the best way to get there, and, if this line goes down, what line are they going to use next? So we really took a lot and tried to think about how we really need to design this network.
Yeah, so there you have it, folks. That's a lot. That's the brains, the operation, that whole team, pretty much everybody on the south end of the building of making all that. Because that's what we were first, when Tarrant County 911 District started, that was the main thing. It was for technology and support like that. I don't even think they started with the doing the training thing or public education and the other things that came along. It was all solely like, we're doing the technology part, and that's it. And then we've just boomed since 1986.
Well, I kind of wondered, like, what the first person, like, what was their reaction? I got to do what?
Well, back then it was probably something that was, like, really, really intense, and considering the equipment was a lot different back then. So it's not a lot of, because you guys are able to do a lot of remote stuff to get things going and how you communicate and whatnot. And there it's probably like, I got to physically go out and dig or something.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Gosh.
Like, I plug this where? So yeah, some of the old equipment, if you Google it, get on the Google and you can look at some stuff. What would be some good examples if people wanted to check that out? Do you have any resources?
Just on like how it used to be, or
I guess maybe the history of the call network, the networking side of
the guy I went to. He retired. His name was Bill.
Oh,
You
yeah.
remember Bill?
Yeah, Bill Horn.
Yeah, he had all the answers.
He did. He was a very knowledgeable person because he worked for AT&T, I believe. Or no, was it AT or Bell?
I think it was Bell.
Was it Bell?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Kevin would know.
Bell as in the phone company, not as the previous
Ding.
helicopter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we
I
got
was thinking Bell.
Yeah. Well, you were ringing your bell over there. I was like, wait, this isn't Bell as in Bell. I think it's Bell as a phone company that used to be that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I can remember their logo. It's like a blue, old-fashioned bell, and yeah, that's that. See,
Was there a phone around it or no?
yes, I think there was. I think it was a bell with a receiver on top of
gosh.
it.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, ask the Google.
Ask the Google.
I love Google.
Just how did 911 start?
How did 911 start?
Yeah.
Well, who came up with that? Well, I know that what was it? They had, well, I remember reading some history and they had, there wasn't really 911. There really wasn't dispatchers. It was like your call, like back a long time ago, they had the call boxes.
Yeah.
And then if there happened to be a police officer standing right there, he would take your call. He would take the call. I believe that's how that works.
Well, yeah, and
or did work.
All the calls would go to its closest central office, and then that central office would either patch you through to the fire department if they had a phone, or the police station.
You're doing the plug-in.
I am.
You're doing the gesture.
Patch me in. Patch me through.
It's like the old call service operators. Well, one moment, let me patch you in. Mm-hmm. And yeah, because then they had that, and then you would just call the actual police department. But it's always been, it was always the 6-digit or the 7-digit numbers.
Yeah.
And then, of course, area codes became a thing. And then, because 911 has a 10-digit number, it's just covered by 911.
Right.
Yeah. So, and it's just so interesting at how...
It's almost like an alias, So 911 is your alias, but wherever you are, whenever you call it, it's a different number, depending on if you're in Fort Worth, you're in Arlington, Yeah,
the 10-digit number changes with each city, but it's, obviously the whole system, and this is everywhere, makes it easier for it just be like 3 numbers to remember. I think once I was in Paris or something like that, I think theirs is like 112 or so. They have a 3-digit emergency one too, because I saw an ambulance and I saw these numbers on it, and heaven help me, I can't remember. I know that's the Google.
I don't even know. Yeah,
I bet you the Google will have it
the Google knows.
The Google knows. Yeah. But I remember seeing, I'm like, oh, they have like 911, but it's not 911. So, but Mexico and Canada use 911, right? I know Canada does.
I have no idea.
Oh yeah, this is me educating
Google
you.
it or Bing it, Yahoo it. Ask Jeeves if you still use that.
Oh my gosh, is that even still working anymore?
I'm sure you can find a toolbar to download. Just don't let Danny know.
I know, Danny. Stop. I hope you stop listening to this podcast by now. I'm not downloading things. You're going to get me in trouble. I'm very good at because I know I download a lot of stuff because I need a lot of stuff for a lot of my projects and all my stuff, and I'm always like, let me ask them if this is going to be okay, and have you guys discuss it to make sure that what I want is not going to put any weird infrastructure in our building.
So we secretly sit back there in a room and we have this big bag of these little white papers that say no on them. There's like maybe one yes in there, but the chances that we'll say yes are slim.
Well, I need to go play the lottery then, because you guys always give me yeses. I'm like, oh, thank God. Oh, great. But most of the time I'll try to find a solution so that I can help keep the district safe by not doing a lot of different things, but majority of the time I've done research on it and to make sure that it's legit and that they don't have a big issue with scamming and everything like that. And and I don't tie in a lot of stuff to the district. So I don't do that. When it doesn't have me, like, put a lot of information in, it's just, you're just using it.
It's crazy. So I saw, it was, gosh, I want to say it was about a month ago where I saw, it was like all over YouTube Live, and it was Elon Musk talking about something, and they were saying, crypto giveaway, and all the comment center was blocked for it, and it would say only for members that have been a part of this subscription for 5 years or whatever, and they couldn't get it off of YouTube for like 3 or 4 days, but it's because it was working, people were giving them money and hoping that they would double it in return.
Oh my gosh. Everyone, if it sounds too good to be true.
It's not true.
Yeah, it's too good to be true. It's too good
to be true.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't give into that. It's like the emails and all that stuff. Here's the thing. If you get an email because I get them from different banks, like I don't bank at Chase. I don't do anything with Chase. Yeah. But I'll get something saying your account's been suspended. Well, your first thing is I don't do anything with Chase. So I delete it because I'm like, I don't have it. Even if it's something that I do have, then I call them. I'll call them and say, hey, I got this email. I just want to make sure this is legit.
Oh, right, yeah.
I always call. And a lot of times, and sometimes they're like, no, we didn't, your account's fine, and so I'm like, okay. I mean, there's also, because everyone now has so many different accounts with different platforms, whether it's Apple or Samsung or something.
The majority of everyone uses Microsoft products, so that's a real good one. I think the last one I got was your OneDrive account has been locked out, and I'm like, I've never seen that before in my life.
I got that too.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah.
I sent mine to Danny.
Oh, I clicked on mine and opened it. I'm just kidding. I didn't.
I went there and then just everything went blank, and I'm not sure what happened.
There's just like an alarm on Danny's desk that goes off when we click at something, or if we plug in a.
He's always sweating, and we're just joking around.
Danny, you do a great job. We love you. But yeah, I just if you don't do business with something or not even affiliated with it, then it's not. They're reaching you, but they're not really reaching you. They're wanting your money.
And any, I guess, billing service or anything like that has, it's always like, it's either you have this amount due or this billing cycle is coming up, and there's really not a lot of detail in it.
And they never use your name.
Right.
It's so vague. And I'm like, if you were doing business with them, like I've been with a certain company that I do financials with for 10 years, and I would think after 10 years that they send me something, they would have my name on there.
Yeah, right, yeah.
And other important information, or be more specific in something.
Or when they call you, right? Like, I will hang up on the person, and then, if I call, like, the original bank or store, whatever it is, like, yeah, sorry, I got a call, just verifying, I don't want to get scammed.
Yeah, just check it out. Well, now I actually feel bad for people who are legit, and then I think they're scammers.
They get hung up on all the time.
Yeah, because I have people that call me, and then I get really skeptical, and I just kind of like, okay, and I'll ask them all the questions, like, role reversal interview.
Oh, yeah.
What movie is that? He's like, now we're going to interview you.
Yeah. What's your employee ID?
Yeah. Where do you sit in your building? So it's one of those things now that I get really worried, and I'm like, is this a scammer? So, but it's unfortunate because it happens so often now. It's
yeah. Like, my phones blow up all the time, and it's always, it'll say spam call. And I'm like, what the heck?
Sometimes if I don't have anybody to talk to, I may answer and be like, hey, what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I have done that before.
What's going on? How are you doing? And now, that they do Facebook Marketplace now. They hit Facebook Marketplace.
Really?
Yeah.
So they'll call on there?
So what happens is, you'll put something for sale on Facebook Marketplace, and if it's somewhere over, like, I think it's like $200, they will start scamming you. And they will start reaching out, and they'll ask, like, and it's funny because, I had sold some stuff and on Facebook Marketplace, and one of the items was like over $200, and I kept getting the same type of message, different people, but the same format of messages.
Really?
And it's like, is this still available? Which then I always get annoyed, because if it wasn't, I would have took it down. I'm one of those people. I'm like, come on, read the paragraph. And I even put on there no dirty scammers, stuff like that. And
don't do it.
No dirty scammers. and all this stuff, and they'll act real interested, and then so there's two ways they do it. There's one that they'll be like, they'll demand your phone number so that they can, what is it? It's not phishing. What's the one for texting? Smishing?
Vishing.
Vishing.
Is it vishing?
I think you made that up. That doesn't sound
Danny,
right.
where are you?
I think it's smishing. Like for SMS or something.
Oh, that'd be the texting.
Yeah, but
I
they want...
thought you meant like calling.
No,
Sorry.
So first what they'll do is they'll try to get your phone number, and then they'll start asking for Venmo, and so what they'll do is they'll say, they'll set it up where it looks like you need to update your Venmo and do a premium account for $200.
Oh, wow. Okay. So
that $200 actually goes to them. It doesn't, it's not really, it's a scam.
Yeah.
So I always, when I sell stuff, so folks, this is a learning thing, because I know a lot of people put stuff on Facebook Marketplace, and now Thomas has totally got me in the security talk information, and plus
It's really easy to get on this talk because there's so much out there.
It's ridiculous.
Well, so there's Google Drive things. So like people, they'll just spam emails with Google Drive content, and then so it'll just show up there, even if you don't accept it.
Yeah.
But it's there. And, you delete the contact or whatever. And then with iPhones, they'll have like an Apple ID that has like a name on it and everything like that. So when they text you, Siri will pop up and say, hey, do you want to add this person to your contacts? Like, no, get out of here.
No, I don't want you in there. Well, even, like I said, all the social media platforms, they all just have some sort of form of doing spam or somehow, because they do messages, like someone's account gets hacked.
Let's get into AI and security. Oh my gosh. I wonder whenever the scammers are going to start using AI. They probably already do.
Yeah, they probably already do. Yeah, but it's just, oh my gosh. I remember that, I don't know if that disc happens, if this still happens, if people, let me know if you've gotten this call lately, anybody out there. But I've gotten the call. Well, ironically, when I was still working at the police department, someone called and said I had a warrant out for my arrest. And I was like, really? You'd think they would have just told me at work, but that's fine.
Right.
Well, they hired me, and they must have not have cared. And so people, and it was a while back. So I don't know if that's still a thing or people caught on to it, but people were freaking out. Or if they had a family member in another country that got arrested and they need money.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but the warrant thing cracked me up because this gal, I was a gal, and she called me and she's like, this is so-and-so, and, with she said something with the county. She didn't say the county. It was interesting. And then she's like, we have unpaid something, and you have a warrant for your arrest, and you need to pay this amount. I can take a credit card over the phone. And I was like, I literally started laughing. And I said, well, you know what? Interesting enough. I go, I'm actually going to work, which is at a police department, so I'll make sure to ask them about that. And then all of a sudden, click.
Yep, click.
And done. So it's So it's just, and I'm kind of, when we were talking about the Facebook thing in the marketplace, I'm really bad. Like, I'll message them back when they start trying to scam me, and I'll be like, why do you have to ruin things for people? Like, that's what I message them back.
How do you have the heart to do this?
How do you sleep at night?
So there's a video clip on YouTube of He-Man singing the Hey Man song.
Yeah, I know. Didn't you guys put it on my computer one time?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, no. I don't know who that was.
Oh, yeah. See, the thing about these guys and gals is that when they can remote into your computer when you need help with something, but then they will put a video on and play it extremely loud. And I think I had people in my office or something was going on. And all of a sudden I turn around and there's He-Man singing.
So I have literally had somebody on hold for 30 minutes with that song in a loop, and they were sitting there singing to it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it was like a who's gonna hang up first kind of battle. I'm like, come on. So folks, we are giving you tips. Thomas and I are giving you tips on what to do to get the scammers away, so you can have some fun with it. Yeah. And you can find the He-Man thing that Thomas is talking about that you can find on YouTube. Or Screaming Goats. I think they have it's just farmyard animal sounds, and Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm going to do the screaming ghost. I totally forgot about that. I wonder if Sarah still has that thing on her desk. Remember it would scream?
Oh, yeah.
The batteries are probably dead. Or she probably threw it away because she was tired of Ray going in there and pushing it. Well, awesome. Thank you so much, Thomas, for your time. It was a great chat.
Absolutely.
We could talk about security stuff all the time. And especially how you have great knowledge of how
to go
to...
into conspiracy and theory about, all these different things. No.
At the end of the day, play goat noises for them.
That's right.
That would be all right. But thanks again for your time. I so appreciate it. And thanks to everyone who tuned in today for this episode. Join us next week. We have a new podcast every Monday with great conversation with our staff for season 1. And with that being said, we're again, thanks, Thomas. And
absolutely. Thank you for having me on.
No problem. And for you out there, have a fabulous week.